Hi, I'm Sophie, and welcome to my world. Today is a super special and super exciting day because not only do I have my friend Liam, the awesome 9-year-old duct taper, but I also have Frankie, who is another amazing crafter who has joined us today. So I get two on the set of one, which is super exciting for me. And today, guys, you ready for this? This is super fun. Yeah. So, Frankie, the way I met Liam, because he lives way far away from us. Yeah. So Liam came to a workshop that I was doing last summer when our book was coming out. And he proved himself to be this amazing duct taper. I mean, I was making water bottles. He was like way ahead of everybody. And I was like, whoa, you're actually really, really good. And I said, okay, here's the deal. I'm going to give you a challenge, right? Because all duct tapers need to challenge each other. And I said, here's the thing. What happens when you get to the end of the roll? Frankie, peel that off. What happens? You get the end of the roll, which is rather boring. And if you are a duct taper, you end up with lots and lots and lots of these, right?
The core of the duct tape.
The core, exactly. Very good, the core. So I said, Liam, here's the thing. I want you to come up with something to do with the core. And he said, okay. And so Liam went away and came back with this. Show him yours, too.
This is the one that I made.
Exactly. Now show them how it works.
So it just has a strap, and so you sort of like place it on your wrist, and I like to flip mine over, and you just put, and there's Velcro right here, and you just attach the Velcro.
Excellent.
And it can go down.
He came up with this kind of like superhero, super cool cuff, right? So I thought that it would be fun for the two of us, you two and me, the three of us, to make this today. So here's what we're going to start with. We're going to need some cores of duct tape. That's most important. Now here's one of the things that I learned. The duct tapes come with different size cords because they're different brands, and certain brands have thicker cores than others. And we're going to be cutting this, right? And because we're going to be cutting it, we don't want a core that is so thick that it's next to impossible. That being said, I found that Duck brand and also the brand that I get at the dollar store actually has a good quality. It's thick enough and it's flexible, but it's not too thin and it's not too thick. These are perfect. There's one brand, I like to call it LOL brand, laugh out loud brand, but what is it called? It's
Just for Laughs.
Just for Laughs, and that's way too thick. So I think
thick.
you get that at like Dollar General and Darlene's.
And Tape Brothers.
Yeah, and that is really super thick. You don't want to use that for this. Yeah. But you are going to need duct tape, and that's where you could use your laugh out loud tape. So you're going to need two kinds of duct tape, I think. It's up to you, whatever sizes and brands and all that kind of stuff you want to use there. And we're going to be cutting them into these shapes right here that I'm going to teach you how to do in a second. I'm going to be using parchment paper. Definitely need sticky back Velcro. Now, this is probably the most important. Scissors, but they have to be good, strong scissors. You're going to need
non-stick.
Exactly. Well, you know what?
Well, they doesn't really have to be. They just have to be good.
Well, these have to be good, and you know what? They have to be sturdy. Yeah. Because this is going to get cut through this, and so these have to be super, super sturdy. Yeah. The ones that you're talking about,
that's for cutting the tape.
That's for the tape, exactly. Yeah. And for that, we're going to be using an X-Acto knife for this. So what we're going to do first and foremost, before we get started on anything else, is we're going to take our core and we're going to cut it. So I'm going to do this part, and this is part where you might need an adult to help you just because you need, see how hard that is to push down? You have to really push that down. And so I've got one cut, and then right on the opposite side, I'm going to make my second cut. Now, like that. So there you go, there's your cuff. Now I like to round the edges, and so what I do is I start in the middle and I just come around like I'm making like a half of a circle. Yeah, half of a circle.
Semicircle.
Yeah, a semicircle.
A fourth of a circle.
Or you know what it is? It's kind of like I always think of this as like making a rainbow.
Oh. Oh yeah.
So you go up and over like that. So I've already got one cut here for you, and you guys are going to work on this one together. You're going to be a team.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the thing about curves. Curves are not the simplest thing to work with because what happens with your tape is
it folds onto itself.
Exactly. It wrinkles and it folds onto itself. Exactly. You guys are right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one piece of tape, and before we do anything else, this is cut to 4 inches. We're going to put that right there, and we're going to take a second one and put this right here. Now, to save ourselves some time, we're gonna make our strap first. And Liam, you're good at this kind of stuff. You wanna show Frankie how to make a strap? Got a 10-inch piece of tape here.
So that's 10 inches. You lay it sticky side up.
And I'm stuck to it. There you go.
And you just fold it over. I like to do it in the middle. And you don't fold it over all the way. You just fold it over,
Frankie, you wanna help him there?
say about 1/4 of an inch.
There you go.
Just smooth that out.
Cool. And then you got
And then
that
you
little
just
sticky end.
fold that part over.
Great. Now this takes a lot of little pieces of tape. So what I do ahead of time is I get myself a board and I lay my tape out like this. And then what I do is I just take my X-Acto knife and I make strips like that. And I've already cut these into strips, so we're ready to go. But I just go bzz, 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 so that we have strips when we need them. So I'm just gonna put these off to the side here for right now. Now, I also have taken a piece of tape and cut it into a half strip. So I had a 4-inch strip, cut it right down the center, and this I'm going to use for my strap. So, Liam, would you cut that in half right in the middle?
Yeah.
Or Frankie, either one.
You can cut it right there.
Excellent. Teamwork. Okay, so now what we want to do is take your piece of tape here, and Frankie, you're going to put it on the end here. And what we want to do is, the way that this is going to go, right, is we want to make sure that that seam is going to be the back side, right? So we're actually going to put the sticky side of the tape on the seam side. And you want to go that way with it. Exactly. And you can go yeah, that's good. Right about there. Excellent. And now that's just going to go right on here. So I'm going to let you go ahead and put that in there.
And do I do this one?
Mm-hmm, exactly. Great. And that's just going to hold it in place while we're putting the rest of the tape on. That's going to seal it all into place. Now, I do mine a little bit differently than Liam. He has his cuff so that the strap comes over on one side and then the Velcro adheres on the inside of the cuff. As an old person, that was a little hard for me to do. So I like to be able to put it on the back side. And like I did right here, I actually created 2 straps, right? So I can put my wrist in like that. Made it a little easier for me, but that's because I'm old and my fingers aren't like dexterity beautiful like yours are. Mine are like,
beautiful.
You guys have dexterity beautiful hands.
Beautiful.